Hi, I'm Helena Lloyd and welcome to Of the Desert, currently showing at Logan Regional Art Gallery until the 27th of February. This work here is titled Beneath the Surface, and it consists of work created on location at Curtin Springs. It's where I've collaged all these different elements. I have used local ochre from site and applied that in multiple different ways here. Here it's been printed with camel poo pellets. It's been dripped on splashed, scratched into with sgraffito. Probably most importantly here is paper, handmade paper from location, for what Curtin Springs is well known for. They may have a wonderful paper making mill there where they make paper from spinifex and native grasses. And there's quite a variety of different types of grasses, so different papers, qualities. Here I've used eye symbols, which came from the desert oak cone studies. This here represents the underground watercourses that begin and end nowhere. There's no surface water on site, naturally, except what's brought up by the bores. So, yeah, and I've used materials found on location as well. So it's a compilation of memories of that location. This exhibition is about my memories at Curtin Springs. A lot of the work was done back in my studio. And for instance, this is this work developed from a memory of, well, Mount Connor, the shape of it. It was always looming on the horizon, and there's the earth expanse here, which is all ochre, is very predominant being in the desert, but they were experiencing drought, quite severe drought, and the clouds would roll over and the rain would come, but it was so dry that it would evaporate before it hit the earth, and that's largely what this work is about. Okay, this work here is titled Windmill in a Timeless Land. It's inspired by an old broken down windmill, the blades, and it's returning back to the earth. I've got the strong horizontals because the horizontal horizon is such a strong feature in that landscape. I've also used natural ochre here, and there's hints of the mountain, Mount Connor in the background there as well. This work is titled Landscape with Cross Bracing. I've used once again this ochre and limited materials, mostly ink and drawing materials. I've tried to aim for the feeling of the place and my memories of this is like the man-made structures that have remained on the landscape, and they are once again deteriorating. It's the dry, rocky ground, the prickly surfaces I'm thinking of, and burnt trunks, burnt timber, as well as wire that's in rolls and things. So that's that work. This work here is a memory of standing out in the desert at night. The night sky is really strong with the stars. The breeze is blowing, the grass and the ground is really brittle and crunchy underfoot. And these are the stalky, dry bushes that are quite predominant around the location. So that's what I'm aiming for, is this sensation of movement, the breeze at night. Okay, this work here is called Frayed Landscape. And it's basically refers to the sense of everything man-made wearing out over time. And I'm thinking about the fly nets, the mosquito nets, all sort of being torn and frayed. I'm thinking about opposites of night and day, light and shadows, which are really strong, man-made versus natural forms. So also, I think, what brought me to this format of this gridding and this netting, weaving idea here is that during COVID, when everybody was making sourdough, I started doing natural weaving and wild weaving, and just developed a real love of that wild, free-form sort of weaving, and that has come out into this painting as well. This work here is titled Deconstruction Landscape. It was the first one I did on return back to the studio. At that time, in late March, there was this anxiety and uncertainty with the COVID situation. And I started cutting up and tearing and deconstructing and reconstructing, and that's very much what this work's about. I'm also thinking about how we divide up our landscape by ownership, by fences, by yards, by roads. So it's all segmented, and I've juxtaposed that with the ripples, the natural ripples on the sand there, and the texture of the grasses. Why I chose to go to Curtin Springs is because I'm interested in wildscapes. I'm interested in the natural environment, and I'm interested in connecting. That's my way of connecting with the environment. I see this as very important. I guess for me, there's a sadness associated with the landscape. I see the natural environment rapidly diminishing before my eyes through increased urbanisation, overpopulation, global warming, pollution, etc. So when I find a wildscape, I want to celebrate it, or at least pay homage to it.